I'm Terra Oracle, and this is a continuation of my video blog. So I have several new cards this week. I've been working hard and getting the cards out. As far as programs are concerned, I switched to Photoshop. Unfortunately, Manga Studio will not allow you to draw like really good hair. It will not allow you to blend like I want to blend. It will not allow you to add screen and multiply layers in order to add shading and undo it and things like that. The blending is just horrific. The brush configuration horrific. You can't get custom brushes for grass, fur, hair, just numerous issues that end up with Photoshop. I knew I was going to go to Photoshop eventually. I didn't know this fast. But if you want things to not look like shit, then you pretty much go to Photoshop. So here's what I have. This is the grass pattern. You'll notice the grass. This is the Eight of Wands, by the way. I wanted to get a theme to where you always have the Eight of Wands just like floating in midair for no reason. I wanted to like pan up from that, and then you have a truck that was hauling the wands or the logs and dumped them all over, and so now you have this movement associated with the Eight of Wands. Now if you look close, you'll notice that the patterns on here are really obvious, that it's not grass. It doesn't look good, looks terrible, it doesn't look like grass at all. So I fixed that, and we'll go to the computer in a minute and show you the extra two cards that I have that I didn't print at Office Depot, although I want to because the Chick Cigarettes is cute. So here we have the Eight of Wands. That's the Eight of Wands theme. Next we have the Hanged Man. So this is a guy with his head in the toilet. I don't know why I'm telling you this because that's pretty obvious. He's reading a magazine, and the magazine is Surrender and Just Letting Go, which are some of the key words for the Hanged Man. In addition, Odin is here, which if you read some books you'll understand that. And then the sign of Scorpio, which is pretty traditional, is here in the magazine as well. So most people, when they get this, they'll like turn it this way. They think it goes, no, it's upside down. He's the Hanged Man. So that is the Hanged Man. This is pretty much a completed drawing. I have not edited this in Photoshop at all. If you're converting something to Photoshop from Manga Studio Express, by the way, your text layers get trashed. So be aware that's going to happen. This is the world. I plan to redo a lot of this in Photoshop because the stars, some of them are not blurred, as you can see here. I had to go and individually blur all the stars instead of blurring an area. And it doesn't work because some are more blurred than others, you can see, and some are not blurred at all. It just doesn't mix well. But these are stars, and also real stars have like a blue tint to some of them and like a red-orange tint to others, so it's mixed. It doesn't look real like this where it had no tint at all. And I can't do that easily in Manga Studio. So I have to Photoshop and go for this too for editing. So these are all 12 of the constellations for all of these signs. And in the middle is the Milky Way, and then you have these weird blotches of star stuff, which that Manga Studio again has an issue. And in dark blue are all the 12 houses. I'm going to make it light blue so you can actually see this, but these are just little stick figures and symbols of the 12 houses that go around. So that is the world. Now we have the devil. We have numerous problems with the devil that I need to fix. The main problem is the gradation, or not gradation, the color at the bottom of her leg is just burned. I mean, it's not, there's no actual color depth to that. I just used the burn tool just to give it some shading, and it looks like that it's burning her from the bottom, which, hey, considering the card, that may be appropriate, but I just don't like it. I want to have shading instead of burn. Maybe shading and burn, I don't know. Anyway, so obviously the skull's eating her head. The skull has no body because I think it would interfere with, number one, if you'll notice there's a throne outline in here, if you can see it. So I wanted a throne in the background, but I don't want it to take away from the main theme. So I just drew a throne outline, and you can kind of see it. It's just kind of a subconscious thing. I know there's a throne back there because the devil has this throne. And then we used good old James, his book for the dead bodies. We have a bunch of James figures laying around, which I just pasted directly from Manga Studio. And then we have stick figures for the remainder of the body, kind of a body goo down at the bottom. So my other problem is the skull looks almost photorealistic. I did all this with a burn tool, and so I just spread it out, did a burn and dodge tools, and just made the skull details, which kind of matches because it's black and white type thing. So anyway, it's like mushing her head. I'm going to put an eyeball in here. Probably I'm going to fix this. Now the bodies don't look very realistic, so I'm probably going to pay one of these artists on Fiverr $5 and just have him draw like a Sea of Dead Bodies, like really sketch a Sea of Dead Bodies or something, and then put like a goo down there and, you know, a couple of flames and be finished with it. I realize that when this is in a small card form that it's not going to be, when it's in card form, which is going to be like that big, you're not going to be able to see those details. But I'm picky, and I want it to look good, especially if I'm going to offer posters, which I'm going to offer posters of the deck for anybody who wants a poster. So this is the Ace of Cups. Normally Ace of Cups has a hand holding out a cup, and instead of doing that I wanted a baby's hand reaching for a sippy cup. So that's the Ace of Cups. And then we have the Lovers, and I realize the hair looks horrific and I have fixed it. I will show you the fix in a computer in a moment. So the Lovers, the idea behind this is that sometimes we don't see our lovers for long periods of time, or sometimes we never see our lovers and we have a soulmate online or some other crap. So they're kissing each other through the phone. They're not in love with their phone. They're kissing each other through the phone. So hopefully that's clear, because I have had a couple of people say, oh, they love their phones. And it's like, no, it's not really the idea. But anyway, that is the Lovers. Next up we have the Hermit. And this is a personal card for me because I am a Virgo. So we have the Hermit. And the point here is that... So here we have Photoshop, my favorite currently. So here's the Eight of Wands. As you can see, I replaced the grass, and it looks much better. Just want to show you that quickly. And I replaced the hair, which looks a little better. Looked like a chia pet at one point for her hair, but I fixed it a little bit. So it's improved over the generic nasty hair that was there before, so fix that. So no. Alright, so now here's the new card, which is the Four of Pentacles, and that contains all these coins which were all drawn, and then I lightened the middle and then shaded the two sides, and then drew all these other coins, and I put a little lens flare right here. So that is the Four of Pentacles. And finally I have the one that I just did, which you can tell going to Photoshop has improved my skills a little bit. So that looks pretty realistic. I like it. This is the Emperor. What I wanted to point out for this one was that the Emperor is seen as sitting on his throne, and I wanted him off the throne, and I wanted his child to be on the throne. So kind of a thing to where instead of the Emperor sitting on the throne looking out amongst all of his people and his possessions and his land and all of that, then he has his child looking at all the same things. So the beard is not exactly good. You can see I just used a pattern brush and then faded the opacity, so it looks kind of crappy. The pattern brush was too broad, as you can see, but when you zoom out it looks pretty good. But as you can see, for the first time I have removed the outline of his lips and his teeth, because I thought it looked realistic enough to remove that. And so that was a pretty nice moment. I've actually graduated to realistic looking mouth and teeth, so it's kind of nice. Anyway, I like the picture overall, and the boy's left eye here looks kind of freakish weird, but oh well, nobody's going to be able to tell. But I do like the hair. I'm getting better at making hair and getting better at skin tones, because the hands look almost realistic except for the outlines. When I remove the outlines, I'm still not good at shading the outer edge to make it look real, so I'm still kind of relying on these baby steps kind of thing here. But I do like the kid's shirt. The kid's red portion of the shirt looks almost real, so I like the shading on that. So I'm getting a little better day by day, piece by piece, a little better. And I like the shading on his shirt without the outlines. It still looks pretty good, but again, I need to fix the outer edges. I'm not sure how to do the outer edges to where it looks real. So, but that is my update for all the fun stuff making a tarot deck.